We're here at the AEF LAN Grand Finals event. We're here to check out some of the great games, watch these guys compete. We're here to find out really what separates Australian Dota and New Zealand Dota from the rest of the world, being that it's such a small esport here, but it's massive globally.
I mean, honestly, like, we have not had a LAN like this in years in Australia, and I feel like when you're here and in the flesh and you hear everyone cheering and you hear everyone, you know, you just get that special feeling, that special vibe, and you really get involved. And so far, I've been absolutely loving it because of that.
It's been a little bit tough. We've had some issues, a couple of mic problems. Other than that, I think it's gone great. I think the Dota's been fantastic. There's been a full house. I think everyone looks like they're enjoying themselves. So yeah, pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I think the next big thing is obviously maybe bringing in some big international teams so you can actually have a big event. I'd love to see organizations, you know, like an ESL or someone try and run a Valve minor or something in Australia. For me, I'd love to see a way to grow the Aussie scene, like the actual teams here, not just bring in international teams and place it in Australia, actually have a qualifier for Australia, get an Aussie team in the event. Even if they are going to get wiped out, it's still a growing experience for the scene, for the teams here.
Tournaments like this is definitely a good stepping stone. Maybe integration of maybe some C teams.
I mean, there's a couple of things that I think have always held Oz Dota back. I feel like the first and foremost thing is there's just not enough events around, but it's not just events for any player. I'm talking about events for the lower players or events for the middle tier players, the players who you want to grow into your next generation of players, your next top tier people, or bring them into the top. You know, I'm talking about like the Division 2, Division 3 players who you'd want to grow into those Division 1 people. Because there's no consistency, those players never really catch up, they never really gain any prominence. We sort of keep the same players in Tier 1 and we lose one or game one here or there, but they basically just stayed mostly the same. So I think for Oz Dota to really go somewhere, or Oz New Zealand Dota to really get to the next level, I think you pretty much want lots of tournaments, lots of new people playing in it, people that have never played in a tournament before to come in and just have a game with some friends. That's pretty much what's needed for that next step. And that growth will snowball into everything else, you know, more tournaments, maybe some money, you know, who else knows, you know, with esports right now.
So obviously viewership, right? Viewership comes from interest. So people need to be interested in the Australian teams. So that comes from either you get Australian teams successful at a top level or you get enough local interest to sustain the scene. So regular competitive seasons, and yet you just got to get the players to treat it professionally, get them to show up, have the jerseys, have orgs support them, pretend you're all pros even if you're not at that level. Behave like pros. That's how the scene grows.
And I think outside of an international event, even just running a bigger version of what we've already got going here that AEF put on, hopefully Season 5 can have a bigger venue, maybe more teams, and just have like several days of LAN event. Those kind of just growing steps would be great for the Aussie scene.
I'm saying like 3-4 times a year we have a nice LAN where maybe most of the players get together. I feel like in a year or two you might be able to run maybe like a small scale Dota league similar to like the VFL, a few thousand spectators, maybe 100, 200, 300 players. That I feel like would be like the ideal direction for Dota in Australia. I feel like that's sustainable, but also like, you know, everyone could get involved and start, you know, barracking for teams. That's what I think Dota should start to move towards in the next year or two. Everyone has their own opinions on that, but that's definitely my vibes.
So we've already basically planned Season 5 to be a repeat of this. So we've already got the LAN format worked out. We've already booked the venue, I believe. We're going to try and make it a 2-day thing. So we'll do double elim instead of single elim. And then we're pending a major format shift actually for Season 6 after TI finishes. We're going to shift towards likely more of a Dream League style format where we have a lot more shift between the Div 1 and non-Div 1 teams, give more teams a chance of getting to LAN basically.
All right, and the final question really is, who do you think is going to win, Water or Focus?
Oh man, I mean, like I'm probably going to say Water. I'm an old teammate of Twan, and you know he's on Water. The M-Pod part of me just wants Water to win today, and that's where I feel like I'm going to go. Good luck, Water.
It's going to come down to the draft, I reckon, but Water was playing really well in that series that I just watched. So I think Water's going to win it.
I'm hoping to see Focus win. I would really love to see Focus win.
I think if I had a favourite coming in, like a team that I wanted to win, it'd probably be the very boring answer if it's the N9 guys, just because, you know, I used to play with them. I was on N9 for a while, and the fact that the name Natural 9 still exists like 8 years later You know, they were playing as Natural 9 in Dota 1 is, I think, awesome. They're like the EG of Australia. They just seem to always win. You've got Shaitan, who's like Fear. He's been playing Dota for like 12 years or something now. He's probably one of the oldest guys out there, so I love their story, but it's great to see new faces in the finals. A couple of the Water guys who kind of tried out to play kind of internationally. Splico was in SEA for a while. EJ's a really sick mid player, so should be a good finals. Hoping it's not a 3-0 stomp, but we'll see.